Hey everybody, welcome to another Quicksave Review with me, RC. A Quicksave Review is basically a let's play and review smashed together for a game I'm currently playing. I'm currently playing Bridge Constructor, The Walking Dead. That's right, there is a Walking Dead version of Bridge Constructor, and it is out today on Steam. This game is pretty cool, I gotta say. It is mixing not only bridge construction, but almost like a turn-based strategy game. And that is to say, like, you know, you're not going to be, placing people on, a grid or anything like that to take out enemies, but you will be taking out enemies with the help of these little node points, which I'll show you here. I don't know that this has been done in the Bridge Constructor series before, but it's pretty interesting. I think it's really cool, and to be quite honest, it is pretty tough too. I've had some pretty hard missions in this game, and I don't know, like, I've never been great at Bridge Constructor, to be honest. So maybe that has a little something to do with it. But yeah, I just am having a hard time with some of these missions here. You can see I've left off at 2.3. I finished the first chapter. I'm leading into the second one here. Here we go. Select chapter. We're going to go back to chapter 1. I want to show a little bit of that first. There are cutscenes too, just so you know. So this does tell a story. You first start with these two characters here. On the right, you have the older man and the woman. They're together at first, and then they meet up with Eugene here, who's kind of like the brains of the operation, basically. But here, let's start off with like 1-3. So you see here that we have a place to build a bridge right here. And you can see we've actually already built our bridge, okay? Having built the bridge, our guy will be able to get past here. So this is, a very simple level here, but I think it's a good way to show off what this game offers, because there's a control panel here, and I'm going to show off the whole thing here. So Bridge Constructor, if you haven't played it before, basically you build bridges like you do here. In The Walking Dead, you have the ability to turn those beams into walkways like we're doing right now. You can kind of see a faint walkway right here for the guy as he's about to cross here. The next thing you want to do is build support for the bridge, so that way he can walk by. Then, there you go. We have support. At any point in this game, which is cool, you can hit the run button up here. Make sure your guy can run across. As long as he can run across in this one, you're good to go. You're not going to be supporting anything heavy in this level. There are going to be levels where you do have to support something super heavy, and it gets pretty ridiculous here. One of the main things you want to watch in the game here is the fact that up here in the top right, you're going to see to earn a badge, you need to get under or use under 1,200 resources. We're currently at 1,008. I think I was at 1,208 or 1,210, something like that when we first started here, so I didn't get the badge for this level. But at any point you come back to a level, you can see that the stuff you built previously is still there, and you can kind of reiterate it to get that total down. All right, so as you can see here, we built the bridge. He's going to be able to run over here, but the main problem here is that we have zombies right here, and we need to crush them with this gigantic container that's up there. And we can do that with this machine here. So you're going to select the modes here, because this up here in the top left, you select this button, the one highlighted in red, that's for building bridges. You click the one next to it. That's going to take you into where you could control these nodes. Okay, so the node control is basically where it brings in the like turn-based strategy stuff that I was talking about. So what happens is at any time a character runs up and hits this node, these actions will take place. So for example, you click on this thing, and we will dump these out just so we can start over, but you would click this node here or this node, whichever one on the map you want to edit, and then you click these little plus signs to do things. So we know that he has to hit the gear, because if he hits the gear, that means he'll rush to the nearest thing and mess with it to do the thing. It's a context-sensitive thing. So in this case, he's going to run over to this control panel, drop the container on the zombies, kill them, and then after that, we want him to go down this ladder that's right here. Then once he hits this node, we want him to go to the right to hit A, because A is where he needs to go to finish the level. So now that we have everything set up, let's go ahead and have him run. He's going to kind of do his thing, run through. Boom. Crunched them all. He gets down there, activates that node. There we go. We finished. Mission completed. And now we have the badge, which is cool. So I really like the fact that you can go back at any point and collect your badges. I think that's super cool. So let's go to Chapter 2 here. Let's do something that's a little bit more complicated. And then I'll show you guys where I left off, where I'm having a really hard time trying to figure out where I'm going, what I'm doing, what I'm supposed to be doing. So you can see here that we now have a car, and this actually isn't the level I was thinking of. Let me jump back to the main menu. Was it in Chapter 1? Maybe it was in Chapter 1. Yes, it is 1.8. So let's start 1.8. So this is where things get a bit more complicated. And again, we're going to jump in here where things are already kind of set up the way they need to be. So you can see my really convoluted setup here. I'm going to have to come back to this and edit it at some point to, like, you know, drop the total down below 1,500 here. I don't know if that's going to be possible. I guess we can try to do it here. Every little bit here does change how much it, so you can see here, if I leave it there, it's at 1712. If I push it back, it's at 1642, 1677. So you really got to play around with this stuff to get that under, you know, what you're looking for. And you mess with it too much, sometimes you run the risk of your bridge not being stable enough to carry your guy over. So anyway, in this chapter, your characters meet up with Daryl, which is Norman Reedus from the Walking Dead television show. The game tends to sort of like favor more the characters from the television show as opposed to the characters from the comics. I don't mind the television show personally, but I'm a bigger fan of the comics, so I was really hoping this would have been like more comic based, but that's okay. No big deal really. Let's see. Try to line these up to get it under 1,500, but either way, no big deal. So that's our bridge. That's what we have it there. You'll also notice that over here, we have a cable hooked up. So this cable is hooked up here for a very specific reason. I actually had to figure all this stuff out on my own because the game definitely doesn't hold your hand. The game basically says here, you have these materials to work with. It does give you a little tooltip to say like, hey, now you can use cables, but you got to figure out what the cables can do. I figured out what the cable does here, and it's actually going to be a cool surprise here once you guys see what it does. But the cable is connected to this diner sign. I really liked that this was kind of a puzzle I had to figure out. So once we switch over to the node stuff, you'll see that we have nodes here just to basically tell Daryl where he's going to go. So, you know, he's going to go left, down, right, and then he's going to head for A over here. All the while, we have Eugene over here. And Eugene, each character, believe it or not, has a special ability. Eugene's special ability, I don't know why, is to throw a doll, and the doll talks. It makes noise and it attracts the zombies. So there you have it. Pretty silly. Norman Reedus' character, Daryl here, he actually later on in the game gets the ability to shoot things. So you only get so many shots that he could use during a turn, but it's pretty cool. All right, because this is all set up here, let me show you how this works. We hit run. So Eugene throws the doll over. The zombies are now going to push. They're going to push the dumpster over enough so that the diner sign is there. Daryl is going to run up this one. He's going to drop to the sign. Boom. Now he's going to run down to A, meet up with Eugene, and all is well. And look at that. We did it. Again, I'm going to have to do that one again in the future to get it down to 1,500. But like I said, as you can see, the game is a bit more involved and complicated than past Bridge Constructor games, at least the ones that I have played. And I kind of dig that. I kind of dig that there's a lot more puzzle nature to it. Like before, you were just building a bridge, you know, like we did in 2.1 here, where a car has to cross over to it and get to the other side. You can see there's no zombies in this one whatsoever, right? You run it, you're just basically taking a car over the bridge. This is classic Bridge Constructor right here. No! But we make it. I built it. It fell apart as I was going across, but we made it. I love it. But that right there, I mean, you're going to get a couple levels like that scattered into the game. But for the most part, you know, you're going to be actually playing around with your characters to figure out the best way to solve and finish a level, which I think really adds to it. So when you return to a level, it doesn't really give you the story, you know, behind it or anything like that. You can watch a cutscene if you want when you go to a new chapter, as you saw earlier. Maybe we'll check one of those out before we go today. That is if we can actually finish this level. I've had a very hard time with this one. But anyway, I let you know here, a new ride is all well and good, but you won't get too far without any fuel for it. We'll need to find some, and fast. So actually, in the story, what happened was we just picked up an RV. And actually, you know what? We'll sit through this real quick, but I want to show you guys that level too, because I think you'll have a lot of fun checking that out. Looks like our recent vehicular acquisitions are regrettably short on fuel. Since most large... And Eugene goes into his techno-babble here, and everyone's like, yeah, okay, we get it. But you can see here that there is story, which I think is really cool. It's a cool ad. So they're pointing out that there is a barrel up here. I don't know why there are zombies, like, stuck up here, but they are there. And they're just letting you know, like, hey, if you're not careful, that fuel thing is going to fall on my head. And if that falls on my head, I'm going to die. So your characters can get killed by zombies or other objects, and it's not pretty. So this is where I left off here, guys. This is the level that I could not figure out. I didn't spend a whole lot of time with it, but up to this point, I've already spent an hour and a half in this game just, like, testing out bridges and trying to figure the game out. So... if you're like me and you're not great at these games, you're probably going to find that you have a lot of game to play here, which is pretty cool. Let me see if I put... Oh, it almost reaches. Oops. And at any point, this is another thing I like about it too. You could test it. If your bridge is holding up, that's a good thing. So it didn't crash there, so that's a good thing. So hopefully that'll stay, and maybe this will actually work. Perhaps I was making it more complicated than it needed to be. I guess we'll see, right? So what's going to happen here? Just like in previous levels, we do have the node base here. This is where Daryl is going to be able to shoot things. So right now we have 2 zombies we're trying to kill, so we're going to hit this box up here in the top right, kill this zombie, and then we're going to shoot up here in the top left and break out this gas here. Now here's the complicated part. You can see in the bottom right here, it says we got to get Daryl to A and the gas to B, which is where I was running into issues because this barrel needs to roll over Daryl and get there, and I was having such a hard time. So let's see what we can do here. This is currently what we have set up. He runs up, he shoots that one, crushes that zombie, runs over here. Okay. Actually, that might have done it. Look at that. I was like, yeah, these are really hard. Now, I will have you guys know that I spent a lot of time on this level trying to figure it out, and I left it there where it was, and I was thinking like, okay, he needs to drop down first before the barrel goes over. And look at that. I did it first try here. I feel very, very good about that. That's why I love puzzle games, guys, because you come back, you nail it that first or second try, and you're like, oh, I got it. And it's such a great feeling. All good. You should see the look on your face when you run. Statistically speaking, you had a better chance of being hit by lightning than walking out of there with your cojones in full working order. Rest easy, compadre. You just dodged the proverbial bullet. We have fuel now, thanks to Daryl. Let's fill our tanks and move on. Let's do it. Let's go back to the menu. I wanted to show you guys the level before that one. That is Vehicular Slaughter. So this one I actually spent a ton of time on too. My setup here you'll look at is like insane, right? You got steel girders everywhere here. You got cables holding it up. You got you got, you know, a little steel bridge with the wooden supports here, everything like that. Check this out though. This is why this took so long. You actually have to jump the Winnebago and the other car through. And I loved this level. Like, the figuring it out was a pain, a huge pain. And look at the amount of resources I used. I used almost 13,000 resources. They want you to use under 5,000 to get the badge. I don't know how in the hell I'm going to figure that out later, but I'm going to have to come back and see if it's doable, because I couldn't figure it out. I racked my brain. I could not do it. But seeing the car successfully jump and get past, I was almost cheering out loud, because I was like super excited I finally figured it out. And to see the cars like jump over and hit the zombies was pretty cool too. All right, let's jump into Chasm here. We'll see if we can figure this one out. And if not, so be it, right? We were back to the open road again, watching the scenery go by from the comfort of our bucket seats, but the euphoria didn't last long. What the? Last time I checked, walkers don't impale people and leave weird symbols behind. While I'm not familiar with this particular iconography, the sheer ostentation of this ritual site indicates these acolytes had themselves a dark ritual in the name of some god, demon, or otherwise unholy entity. What a world. Let's get across that ravine and get out of here. We don't want to run into whoever did this. Okay, I think that's fair. All right, so at this point, we are trying to figure out how to get the car and the RV across here. This looks like it's going to be another sort of... another sort of like typical Bridge Constructor style level here. We want to beef those up. Now, the thing that I do like about this game, guys, is that while you want to go for the badges because that's where the true challenge of these games is, at the same time, you don't have to. You could play this game the way you want. You could use as many resources as you want. You don't have to do anything. Me wanting to go for the badge is just like me. Like, you could play this entirely the way you want to play it, which is what I really, really dig about it. All right, so we set up kind of like a crap bridge here. Let's see what happens. I don't think it's going to hold. No, it didn't hold anything. So, but I do like that everyone just keeps driving, no matter what, and just keeps driving off the cliff. It's great. All right, we are going to use some... That doesn't really work, does it? Now, the interesting thing here is that even if this bridge holds, I think that the Winnebago is still going to hit it. Oh, geez, that's totally not working. And I think that these rocks are actually going to hit what we got going on here, too. So we need to move everything down a bit. Let's get rid of that. So they need to, it looks like they need to kind of go down and up. So actually, I don't think we need these like heavy steel pieces here. All right, so this will kind of hold here. And then we got to go under again. Okay, so there we go. We got... Okay, so that won't reach. Let me get rid of these just so I can kind of see what we got going on. So this is one real weavy... crazy looking bridge. I don't know that this is going to hold either, but we're going to see what we can do here. We may need to hold everything with cables. So we got those. That connects, that connects, that connects. And perhaps we need to put one here. And we're just taking a stab in the dark here, guys. I don't even know if this is going to work. But this gives you a good idea as to what you'll be doing in this game. If this looks like something you'll want to check out. I don't know that that's going to hold, but let's give it a shot. Nope. That totally did not hold. All right. Man, I really thought we were onto something. Didn't you? Maybe this all, you know what? It probably would help if I have a bit of support here too. It's interesting that we don't have a yellow dot over here for more support, but what can you do? These cables I don't think are gonna be super helpful, but because we have so much in the way of resources here, I feel like we ought to just use more steel to hold things up, because that'll keep it from moving there. I feel like we need to move this back a little bit. Like so. And maybe put a steel piece there. Will it connect? It won't quite reach, will it? That will. I wonder if they'll do the jump thing. Yeah, that's not going to support. Yeah, that first half is going to be the tough part to figure out, I think. And we can't really use cables all over the place, can we? But there you go, guys. Therein lies the rub there. I'm going to kind of end it there because I think you guys kind of get what this game is all about. I think that's a good look at it. But Bridge Constructor: The Walking Dead, I think it's pretty cool. I wasn't really sure what to expect from this. I really thought that was just going to be Bridge Constructor in like a, you know, an apocalypse setting, but it's really much more than that. It's a game that offers like a story, you know, character dialogue, offers like, you know, the turn-based strategy, node editing type of thing, which I think is really, really cool. It's a good add to the game. Definitely makes it a bit more complicated if you're looking for a more complicated version of Bridge Constructor. So yeah, I think it's pretty cool, guys. Worth checking out for sure. But guys, I just want to say thank you for watching, and of course, I'll see you all next time.